Hello, welcome to a video analysis of research involving transcranial direct current stimulation and its impact on depression. Transcranial direct current stimulation is a form of electric therapy administered directly to specific parts of the brain with the intention of impacting existing behaviors at their processing source. We will refer to it as tDCS from now on. tDCS is administered to the brain through anodes and cathodes attached to specific areas of the body and brain that correspond to areas responsible for certain functions. A small voltage of electrical current is sent through the anode to cause a depolarization and excite neurons into action potential, most commonly between 0.5 and 2.0 milliamps. This increases the brain activity in the area that services the action or behavior. The current is sent to the cathode to cause a hyperpolarization that inhibits neuronal activity, essentially preventing neuronal action potentials. This occurs in a corresponding area of the brain to allow uninhibited excitation at the anode. What is depression? The DSM defines depression between two main categories: major depressive episode and major depressive disorder. Major depressive episode is defined as a period of at least 2 weeks during which there is either depressed mood or the loss of interest or pleasure in nearly all activities. Major depressive disorder is defined as a clinical course that is characterized by one or more major depressive episodes. There are several other variations of depressive disorders, but we are predominantly focusing on research conducted in relation to these two categories of depression and how tDCS can positively impact these disorders. tDCS has existed in some capacity for most of recorded history, with varying levels of interest, development, and scientific validity. As tDCS moved into the modern world of medicine, its progression was put on hold briefly as pharmaceutical treatments of mental disorders gained significant interest. It was picked up and slowly regained traction from 1998 when it was approved for research and treatment. This is the beginning of the modern age of tDCS. The transcranial montage is the map of the skull used to guide the placement of anodes and cathodes. The montage has several variations and has received updates several times over its history. However, it is agreed that the most consistent locations and their correlated areas of impact are highlighted in the International EEG 1020 system. In our case, we are looking at depression, which is commonly approached from the left dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, represented on the transcranial montage as anode F3, and the ventromedial prefrontal cortex, represented here as cathode placement on FP2. It is important to note this isn't the exclusive location found to impact depression. Other placement areas have shown evidence of impacting depression. This location is just the most common. The reason these areas are the most commonly used in association with depression on the tDCS montage are because they provide access to the area of the brain that is most inhibited by depression. It is hypothesized that these regions impact depression because of their relationship to emotional processing and creation of negative emotions. The left dorsolateral prefrontal cortex has been associated with cognition, and it has been suggested processing negative emotions, while the ventromedial prefrontal cortex has displayed a role in the generation of negative emotion. Traditionally, research conducted with depression and tDCS returned results with only minor significance, but still strong enough to be intriguing to researchers. As the development of tDCS and the understanding of our brain has improved over time, it has allowed research to be conducted in a much more accurate and reliable manner. While detailed neurobiological research continues, it is believed that depression is exhibited in the brain as hypoactivity in the prefrontal cortex, resulting in a weaker connection to other hemispheres of the brain. tDCS applied in this setting is attempting to improve functioning in the targeted area and increase communication between brain regions. A study completed by a group of researchers using the Montgomery-Åsberg Depression Rating Scale returned significant results in dysphoria and retardation after 3 weeks of tDCS. Results of vegetative state were unchanged. However, it is hypothesized that a longer duration of effect would return a significant result in this category. This study is a good example of the broader literature available. It highlights how far research has come on the topic as new studies arrive with better methodological approaches. Current studies available have incorporated more reliable measures of depression in their experiment, like the Montgomery-Åsberg scale and other proven assessment instruments. Other impacting factors have improved research techniques are more accurate placement, better equipment, longer duration under stimulation, better conducting gels. With these improvements in approach, a consistent finding from a spread of contemporary research is a significant correlation between an improvement in measurable symptoms and tDCS treatment. Current literature available indicates that tDCS could be a very exciting and reliable treatment for depression, particularly because it is non-invasive and non-pharmacological based. It could even be convenient enough to potentially be administered by the individual at home. Most importantly, research is consistently finding a strong correlation between tDCS and decreasing depression symptoms. In the last 20 years, there has been a significant increase in research relating to depression and tDCS. With so many studies available, consistent findings are becoming more reliable, which is exciting for the progression of tDCS as a legitimate and reliable treatment for depression, as well as many other psychiatric disorders. In the future, I hope to see more longitudinal studies completed to understand the long-term effects tDCS can have on depression, as well as potentially understand side effects that may occur with long-term treatment. I look forward to seeing a continued increase in tDCS and depression research so we can build the understanding necessary to develop clear and reliable treatment plans for people suffering from major depressive episodes and disorders.